Good day. The Prime Minister and Minister for Nanny State Affairs has asked me today to brief you, the British public, concerning last week's heatwave. The people of the United Kingdom have been asked to remain calm in the face of such adversity. Following last week's heatwave, temperatures this week may reach an alarming 24 degrees Celsius. But why I must stress that whilst the searing heat is lower than last week, the Met Office has confirmed that further catastrophic heat waves are expected at some point in the next few weeks. The government takes the well-being of its citizens and its minions extremely seriously. That is why at the Office of Mild Weather Hysteria, we are issuing formal national guidance on the perplexing question of what you, the British public, and businesses should do when it is sunny. So, for all citizens, we strongly urge you to watch the following broadcast, as it does contain changes to legislation which may impact you. 81.7% of the population identify as white Caucasian. If you fall into this category, you must cease and desist all outdoor activity immediately, effective until September the 15th, 2026. Leaving your home or place of work only before 8 a.m. and after 6 p.m. Of this group, 52% fall into what we're officially designating the lobster skin category. We cannot stress this enough. Members of this category may spontaneously incinerate after as little as 30 seconds in the sunlight. You are advised to remain in the darkest available corner of any building until the sun drops to a government-approved meridian above the Earth's surface. If you work outdoors, you must cease doing so during daylight hours. Businesses employing outdoor staff are required to repurpose those roles to indoor duties on any day classified as sunny. Businesses failing to comply will be referred to the Department of Red Tape for reprimanding and serious fining. It is important to stay hydrated at all times. To British citizens, we say you must regularly drink the clear liquid that flows from the kitchen tap, at home or in place of work. This liquid is called water. However, do not consume more than 3 litres of water a day. This could put the United Kingdom under the threat of drought. The recommendation is to sip water regularly throughout the day under the 3-litre threshold. Companies will still need to ensure staff are given a hydration break every 22.5 minutes, in line with the World Scientific Authority on Water Consumption, FIFA. This is especially important. Although many of you may have an urge to go outdoors on a sunny day, your actions could not only jeopardize yourselves but others too. As such, the Ministry of Fun Prevention have decided to ban all barbecues, paddling pools, and outdoor laughter. It is this decision that has not been taken lightly. Barbecues usually result in drinking alcohol, and laughter attracts other citizens to venture outdoors and increases the risk of incineration. Anyone found having barbecues between June the 1st and September the 15th in the UK will be met with the full force of the law. Our DEI police departments have repurposed resources away from serious crime to create the Barbecue Prevention Task Force. Heavy fines will be levied for households that emanate the smell of burnt sausages and laughter. Working households will be fined £2,000 for such breaches. Those on welfare will receive a jolly good telling off. Peddling pools will be banned from this point onwards. Although this is likely to impact shareholder dividends within water authority boardrooms, it's a sacrifice executives are willing to make. As we must preserve water, I prevent citizens from harming themselves in grass-covered pool water. The British government clearly want all our citizens to enjoy their hard-earned summer vacations. But due to the unprecedented threat of further heat waves, we have no choice but to make tough decisions. We recommend no family should holiday any further south than Milton Keynes. Should any family insist on the foolishness of holidaying overseas, you'll be required to purchase a government-approved tobacco foil suit in order to protect you from even hotter temperatures abroad. These suits will reflect the sun's rays and protect you and your family. You will need to purchase these suits from selected companies owned by people sitting in the House of Lords. An inability to evidence your official tobacco foil suit at passport control will result in the airline preventing you taking your seats on the plane. I cannot stress the importance of this next point. With temperatures climbing into the 20s and 30 degrees Celsius, it may be tempting for adults and children to cool down by consuming a higher quantity of ice cream or sugar lollies. The Department of Thought Control have suggested that British citizens must limit such consumption to 1 cone or stick of sugared ice a day. Both food substances contain a large amount of sugar content and could endanger you from serious disease. They could also make your children hyperactive and cause unnecessary laughter and noise. See my point about barbecues. Please, for the sake of the nation, limit yourself to 1 ice cream cone. It is with regret that because of the costs involved in protecting the British public from themselves, we must once again reach out to the generosity of British businesses and their tax-paying employees. Miss Rachel Reeves in the Department of Punitive Enterprise Solutions has outlined a seasonal tax that will align with the average temperature of the day between June and September. A small levy will be imposed on businesses and employees' pay package during the summer season, with a higher levy being imposed at 35 degrees than 25 degrees Celsius. Just like in World War II, I know the great British public and companies will rally behind the government message of safety first and the protection of which this tax will be utilized for. Finally, it is with great sadness we level with the British public on this final point. The government were going to source 30 million battery-operated hand fans for the British public. However, a recent report commissioned by the Institute of Strategic Frittering has shown profligate spending across all areas of government. As such, it is with great reluctance that we must direct British companies to a private organisation, the Branded Items Group, for any of your fan requirements or summer merchandise purchases. They say this with great reluctance. As a director, Stephen First is neither a peer or has worked in government, and as such is no more than a rabble-rouser, a commoner, and a troublemaker. His company does, however, have large stocks of fans, sunglasses, and other sun-based items that businesses could brand and give away to consumers, customers, or people. This at least will protect a proportion of the population from solar doom. You cannot, however, buy bacofoil suits from the branded items group. This concludes the briefing. To summarize, remain indoors, hydrate moderately, avoid joy, holiday domestically, ration your ice cream, and prepare for the sun tax to arrive on your payslip the moment the mercury so much glances upwards. We appreciate this may feel to some of you like an infringement on your basic freedoms. I want to be very clear. It is. But it is an infringement carried out with the utmost compassion by people who generally believe you cannot be trusted with a paddling pool. The Prime Minister has asked me to remind the nation that we're all in it together. Though obviously not all of us will be paying the sun tax, and obviously none of us in Westminster will be wearing those bacofoil suits. So stay calm, stay indoors, and remember, the heatwave isn't a danger. You are. This has been an official government broadcast. Any resemblance to common sense was entirely unintentional. Good evening.